Now, Brazil's acting ambassador to Sri Lanka says that Brazil is committed to enhance bilateral cooperation with Sri Lanka in many sectors, including economic and defense spheres. He made these remarks while addressing a function held in Colombo recently on the occasion of Brazil's Independence Day. Brazil gained its independence from Portugal on the 7th of September in 1822. Brazilians around the world celebrated the 197th Independence Day anniversary this year. A special reception was organized by the Embassy of Brazil to Sri Lanka to mark the occasion under the patronage of Brazil's acting ambassador to Sri Lanka, Winston Alexander Silva. Minister of Transport and Civil Aviation Arjuna Ranatunga was the chief guest of the evening. Many ambassadors, high commissioners and other invitees also graced the occasion. Brazil's acting ambassador to Sri Lanka and Minister Ranatunga addressed the gathering.
The similar historical trade between Brazil and Sri Lanka, due in part to the Portuguese influence, is still felt today in several things that our two nations share. Just to mention one of these similarities, take, for instance, some family names we can find here as well as in Brazil. Pereira, meaning pear tree, or Fonseca, meaning dry well. Almeida, a name of a Portuguese city, and of course, the Silva, or Silva, just like me, meaning forest. It is interesting to note, by the way, that every time I introduce myself to a local here, I am asked, "Are you Sri Lankan?" And then I reply, "No, but I think I have many relatives here." That little boy there, my son, the baby that you have seen around this ballroom, was born here in Sri Lanka. So he is Sri Lanka and he is Silva. Diplomatic relations between Brazil and Sri Lanka began in 1960. After 40 years, the Brazilian embassy resumed its activities as a resident mission in 2007, and ever since, the bilateral relations have intensified in various fields, such as political, trade, consular and military. It is in the cultural area, however, that the Brazilian embassy has been focusing even more attention nowadays. The reason is that we believe culture is perhaps one of the primary vehicles for bringing people together. In the case of Brazil and Sri Lanka, the many similarities that they both have allow this process of cultural approach to be even more irresistible. In this sense, I would like to take this opportunity to invite everyone to the Brazilian Film Festival that will take place later this month in Colombo. In addition to that, from the 3rd to the 12th October, the public will have the opportunity to enjoy some delicious Brazilian dishes at the Hilton Colombo residence, where renowned chefs from Brazil will bring some of our best flavors to Sri Lanka. And in 2020, when Brazil and Sri Lanka will celebrate 60 years of diplomatic relations, we hope to intensify the cultural exchanges between the two countries further.
The bond between the two nations have significantly strengthened. Over the years, we have had many opportunities of dialogue and cooperation, which have resulted in number of bilateral agreements as well as multiple memoranda of understanding on broad spectrum of areas. Whilst our two nations are geographically distant from each other, Sri Lanka places great importance proactively engage with allies in Latin America. Among the many things that we have in common, there is one particular that is close to my heart, and that is our passion for sport. We may not dominate in football. Sri Lanka prides itself on the exceptional cricketing talent. Sri Lanka is committed and elevated our relations with Brazil to more dynamic partnership, and I am confident that our ties of friendship and close engagement will flourish for betterment of both our nations.